Good Saturday morning to you all. How are you doing? Hope you're well. I'm 8 o'clock, just after. I'm off to Park Run. I was going to do this from Park Run like I did last week. I was going to do it from Park Run, but I'm back from walking the dog a bit earlier, and I've got time to do it now. So much easier, I think, because I've got all my kit around me, which is very good. So on the glass of water, off to do Park Run. The streak was ruined by the by the trip to Ireland, but the trip to Ireland was the most magnificent of trips for my eldest son's wedding to Catherine, which was absolutely fabulous. So off we went to Ireland with Luke and Lily, my younger son and his girlfriend, and my mum and dad, Jackie and Pauline. Fabulous. And we had a good time. And if you follow me on Instagram, there was some pictures on the Instagram story. So we had a great time. Masterclass from my wife Christine. Masterclass in planning and organising. Absolutely, everything was in its place. We had postcodes for everything, and everything was perfect. We had all the right bits, and everything was printed off or on the phone or whatever it needed to be. It was all brilliant. So it's really good. And it's one of those things. I was away, and I was relaxing, and that was good. And but you just keep ticking over, don't you? Thinking of things that need to be done. Now, the good thing about having a plan is you minimize that kind of thing happening. So the more you've got a plan, and I kind of know what I'm going to do today, Sunday, and I know what I'm going to do next week. So I had a plan. So I settled myself with my plan, and my plan has everything in it. I've got some stuff to write next week, some stuff, self-care short stuff to write next week, but also, as you maybe know, I'm doing a hypnotherapy and counseling course, and I've got some assignment work to do for that. And what I've done is I've put the fun stuff, the self-care shorts writing at the front of the week, and I've put the not so much fun stuff. It is fun, don't get me wrong, but I think when you're doing a piece of work for assessment by somebody else, where you've got to hit criteria and all that kind of thing, that just takes a bit more, a bit more thinking about. Whereas when I'm writing, it's quite a natural thing, writing from a position of knowledge, I suppose, just writing it as it flows, and then you tidy it up later and you proofread. You do that. That's fine. You do all of that stuff, but when it's an assignment, which these two things I've got to do are, you have to think, right, am I hitting the mark? Am I hitting the target? Am I doing what I need to do? What do I need to do? So it's a bit different. And I had it the way around that I described, the self-care shorts first stuff and the assignment stuff second. But it was niggling away at me all the time. So it was all planned, but it was niggling away at me all the time that I had this to do. And of the two things, the one I least want to do particularly, and it's a funny thing, that, isn't it? I least want to do the assignment work because I'm being told to do it. I'm not being told to do the other stuff. There's a kind of psychological thing that we can have a think about at some point when we're being told to do something, even if it's a very similar thing to the thing we're choosing for ourselves. Then we have a different response to it. It's quite interesting. So while the assignments, in a sense, aren't eating my frogs, and you remember the eat the frogs analogy, Mark Twain, if you had a frog, live frog, eat the start of every day. Once you've done that, the rest of your day will probably be all right. Worst first strategy, get it out the way at the start of the day. It's not a frog, this assignment, because I'm writing about stuff I'm interested in. So it's not exactly a frog. It's not something exactly I don't want to do. But I want to do it less than the self-care shorts writing, more naturalistic writing. Write what I want to write about. So I've made it a frog, and I'm going to do it first. And actually, I'm going to try and get it done this weekend. I'm going to, maybe into Monday. It's a bank holiday weekend, but you got to roll with this stuff sometimes. So I'm going to do the stuff I'm going to do that stuff first. And it brought to mind, or it comes from a principle called The One Thing, which two guys called Keller and Papazan wrote a book called The One Thing. And the premise of their One Thing book and their One Thing argument is that in prioritizing and thinking about what to do, is to think, what's the one thing that in doing it will make everything seem more pleasurable, more enjoyable, or easier? Now I know that if I sit and write this self-care shorts book, it's going to be one of the little shorts books. You might have seen that I've got out a one on emails, and it's a little short book. I mean, there's about 30 odd, maybe 40 pages of actual kind of focused content. And then there's a good chunk of pages which have got some how-tos, how to, create a calendar entry and how to create a filtered list in email and all that kind of thing. So they're quite useful. And then there's a couple of extras at the back, which are blogs about things that get mentioned in the main text, like the 2-minute rule and that kind of thing. So it's one of them. So there's going to be a series of them. That's why I'm quite keen to get them done, because at the minute there's one. It's a series of one. So I'm quite keen to kind of get the next one done. And they're backup training sessions that I do. So I'm quite keen to be doing them as a training session comes along, do the book. Gives a bit of motivation, So there's there's a book covering the stuff and a fact sheet and all that kind of thing. And I know that in writing those books, in writing that self-care short stuff, I know that if I do that today and tomorrow, Monday into next week, I'll be thinking all the time, I've got that assignment to write. I've got those 2 assignments to write. I've got those 2 assignments to write. I've got those 2 assignments to write. And I know that I won't work as well at doing the book because I'll be thinking that all the time. So I've got the days set aside across next week and into the following week. I've got the days set aside to do it. But what it dawned on me using the one thing philosophy is I've just got it the wrong way around, So if I switch it around and do the assignment work, the have to work first, the want to do work will just be so much easier, so much more pleasurable, so much more enjoyable. So the one thing that I need to do that it won't necessarily make the writing the book easier, but it will make it more pleasurable, much more pleasurable, because I'll not be worrying about thinking, have I left myself enough time to do the assignments? Now, if you know me well enough, you'll know I've done that anyway. So I could leave them for about another month and I'll still have time. I'll still have had time. But, it's just like, no, it's niggling away at me. And it's the last thing I've got to do. So I'm just like, well, if I get that out of the way, and if I get those out of the way now, I think it's about 3,000 words to write and a few hypnotherapy scripts, I think. But I've got the hypnotherapy scripts written because I've delivered them. They just need tidying up. So it's kind of like if I just do that, the back end of the week and into next week will just be a delight, So there's the plan. That's the one thing. That's your weekend shot. And I suppose the one thing might apply to your weekend, mightn't it? What's the one thing that you can do that will make everything else more pleasurable? And I suppose for me, it's going to be park run, because the exercise kind of will stimulate me. I'll enjoy it. I'll think, right, I've got my exercise out the way. And now what am I going to do today? So my one thing later on is to do the assignment rather than the writing, rather than the self-care shorts writing. But the one thing to do to make that even better is to go and do a park run, because I'll feel great when I come back, get a shower. I'll feel buoyant. I'll feel fueled. I'll have that nice kind of warm, slightly achy glow after the run. So it'll be great. So there you are. So I'm stacking up my one things, I suppose. The one thing that will make it all better is the run. The one thing that will make all the work better is getting the bit out of the way first. And I want to do less. I'm not going to say I don't want to do it, because I do, but I want to do less. So there you go. That's that. So here I am back from a lovely trip to Northern Ireland. What a beautiful place. What an absolutely beautiful place. And fabulous people. And we had a fabulous time. We were hosted by the local pub for the wedding party. It was great. Me and Connor, my new busy mate, me and Connor flipped burgers and cooked chicken kebabs and all sorts of stuff. And there was dancing and shenanigans, and I played a few tunes, and it was all wonderful. It was all really good. And even the flights there and back were easy. Well, we're only going to Ireland from Newcastle, you know what I mean? You're coming down as soon as you've gone up, really. So all very good. So a lovely time, and I'm back on it now. And it's nice to talk to you this Saturday morning, and nearly 8:20. So I'm going to go and head off to park run. Enjoy your weekend. Might check in with you in the morning. Happy days. Take care.